7 or 8 reasons here for suffering. And we're going to look at just the first one, okay? Original sin. We looked at this some weeks ago, just very speedily. Original sin, specific sin, personal revelation for God's glory, a test, like in Job, suffering for Christ, discipline, or despair from far worse. Despair from far worse. Reasons for suffering, original sin. And we've got here our verse. Heather, would you like to read it on, please?
Genesis chapter 2, verse 17. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die.
Okay, original sin, you trace it back, or the suffering, you trace suffering back to original sin. There was 2 trees in the middle of the garden. So there was this beautiful garden, Garden of Eden, and men and women were put in there. Adam and Eve were placed in this. A man and a woman were created to be in this garden in perfect unity and harmony with God, walking with him and talking with him, and always to be well. But there was the tree of life there, which we never talk about, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. All knowledge is not good. There's a tree of the knowledge of good and evil. We can think a little bit more about that maybe on another occasion. I want you to be challenged to think what that means, the knowledge of good and evil. We certainly know what that is now, don't we? We know about good and we know about evil. Prior to the taking of this fruit, of this act of disobedience, there wasn't what we have now. And what we have now is not good. Someone once came to Jesus and said, "Good teacher." He didn't rebuke them and say, no one's good. He took the good upon himself. He said, no one's good but God. So why do you call me good teacher? Is it actually that you know who I am? Jesus is alone good. There was this tree of the knowledge of good and evil there. And Jesus or God said, if you take the fruit, if you eat of that fruit, in that day that you do that, you'll die. The origin of sin. So we've got here how it will